beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of Sessions with Koren. Today, we're discussing a reality many people quietly live with, the sandwich generation and their issues. These are individuals balancing the care of aging or ill parents while still raising children, managing families, and trying so hard to take care of their own selves. It's a lot of pressure, and it often leads to burnout, guilt, and stress. My guest today is Dr. Saran King, a holistic physician and wellness expert. And together, we'll unpack the challenges of the sandwich generation. And more importantly, we'll talk about how to find balance, support, and self-care along the way. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Today on Sessions with Koren, we're joined by a woman whose life's mission is to help others live fully, body, mind, and soul. Dr. Saran P. King is the founder of A Happy, Healthy You, a health and wellness business that equips people, especially women, with the knowledge, tools, and resources to transform their physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. She wears many hats: general physician with a mental health focus, fitness trainer, holistic health coach, published author, and speaker. She's also a dedicated caregiver and proud mother of two. Dr. King brings a unique blend of medical expertise, holistic practices, and lived experience to inspire healthier and more balanced lives. Dr. King, it's always a pleasure talking to you and hearing from you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Yes.
I look forward to this conversation.
Okay, and welcome. A warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
All right, so the first question I really want to ask you, many of our viewers might be hearing this term sandwich generation for the first time. When people hear sandwich, they think of bread, butter, and cheese or peanut butter and jelly. But what exactly do we mean when we talk about the sandwich generation?
Well, sandwich literally means that. So that generation, some studies may say from 35 to 55, some from 30 to 60, that group of individuals that fall literally in the middle between caring for the younger generation and also caring for aging parents or parents who may have some ailment. So they are smack in the middle while still trying to keep their head afloat and care for themselves as well.
That's quite a juggling act. Elderly parents, children, self, you have a job, you still have plumbing and car issues. That's a whole bunch of stuff going on, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the crises these persons face, like as it relates to their physical health, their emotional, mental health? What are some of the issues persons in that role could face?
Right. So as you said, there are so many responsibilities that they are juggling, and they are at risk for burnout and overwhelm because you're trying to balance all of the emotions with small children or children who are growing up, and with dealing with an elderly parent. For instance, I am part of that generation, so I have two small boys. So they are 4 and 9, and both of my parents are in their 70s, but my mother, she has been diagnosed with dementia for the past 5 years. So it's homework, and then caring for her, still trying to maintain myself. So they're at risk for being overwhelmed, just everything seems to fall on your shoulders. Even if you have help, because I do have help, and it seems like it's a lot. It is a lot to deal with. So your mental health is at risk. You can have sleep deprivation. You might put yourself on the back burner because you're caring so much for everybody, trying to work out all of the logistics, all the responsibilities with growing children. Also with yourself, you have to make an income to care for your family and also for the aging parents. So it's a lot to deal with.
I can imagine, and I want to say thank you for being the person who helps to take care of your mom. You know, I get exhausted just listening to it. It's a lot. So sometimes we have families, maybe a few children with parents, and dementia is not an easy thing for a person to have to see their mother or father go through because that person sometimes requires so much attention.
Yeah.
It's not like an illness where, okay, they're just home lying down. With dementia, sometimes they can do things. So what can families do in terms of like creating a daily routine so that the burden doesn't just fall on one person so they don't get that burnout that you talked about?
Right. So one of the questions I get all of the time is, how do you do everything? And I don't.
You don't.
I don't do everything.
So you're not a superwoman that you appear to be?
Nope. I put down my superwoman cape years ago, and I've recognized that asking for help is not a sign of weakness, like we have been taught, but it's a sign of strength that you just cannot do it alone. We have to have help. Whether it is delegating tasks, outsourcing certain tasks. So I'm going to give you an example. So I used to be juggling between 3 houses.
Wow.
Juggling between 3 houses, my house, another house, my mom's house. And so after a while, it became too much, cleaning, taking care of bills. And so what we outsourced someone to help with mom at her home. So she still stays home and somebody comes in and deal with the daily tasks, cooking, cleaning, washing, and that took so much burden off. Mentally, especially, it takes a lot because you would be home and you're worrying and you're wondering because she has walked off many times, and that's part of the dementia where they may wonder. And of course, she doesn't have any recollection of how to get back. So outsourcing and delegating, definitely getting support, getting help. We cannot do it alone. We were not meant to do it alone. We were meant to be in families, just like animals. They have their groups. We were meant to be in families. And many times, I think the challenge is that our family of origin, we might be looking towards our family of origin for that support, and it may not be there. And so we have to look outside of our family of origin. Where can we get help? Learn to say no. Stop taking on unnecessary tasks that may be adding to the burden. I like to say, if we have a plate with items on there and it's getting heavy, the only way for it to get light is to take items off. We can't shuffle them around. It's going to still be the same weight. So we have to find a way to remove things from our task list that we can give to somebody else to ease our burden so that we can also take care of ourselves. Because if we are burnt out, then those who are caring for us, the young and the old, they will also suffer. So it's imperative that we take care of ourselves first.
Okay, and I love that example. If you have a full plate and you're moving things around, it's still a full plate. So you really have to take something off.
Yep, definitely.
And asking for help is okay.
Yes.
So that leads me into something I wanted to ask you that you already kind of partially answered. So let's just say we have families out, persons out there, and their family is not helping them. Family members are not helping them with the caregiving duties. So that one person's find themselves in a state of overwhelm.
Yeah.
If you are sitting in front of somebody like that, what advice would you give to that person? You have a family, but you find yourself doing all the work, taking care of mom, dad, or something. What would you specifically advise that person to do?
One, speak up, because others may not know. You may think they know. You may assume that they understand. And if they're not physically in the home, so I'm going to give an example again, because this is my lived experience. I'm actually in it. Because I was still living with mommy, and I would tell my brother, we need to find somebody. And he's like, oh, is it that bad? Because he's not there to see the day-to-day of the progression of the disease. And eventually we did get somebody. So speak up, because I was getting frustrated and he didn't know.
Yes.
He see me going around, I am getting things done, and so he just assume, well, everything is okay. So we have to speak up, because we are just assuming that persons know that we're overwhelmed, we're burnt out, we're frustrated, and they may not be aware of what is happening. Second thing, get help for tasks that you can outsource. So for instance, if you can get somebody to clean your house for once a week, that would help to take the burden off of you. Do that. If it is that you have to hire somebody to cook for you a few times a week, but get one burden off. So if you don't have the family members, because a lot of people don't have a lot of family members who are willing to help, who are able to help, because they have their problems too, so find somebody that you can outsource. The third thing I would say is to find a support group. So I was introduced to a dementia support group, WhatsApp group, by one of my nursing colleagues, and just listening to other persons and the struggles that they're having, you realize that you're not alone, because it can feel very lonely.
Yes.
It can feel like you're the only one experiencing it, and when you start to speak up about what you're experiencing, you realize, hey, somebody else
yes,
is also
yes.
experiencing the same thing, and you can share ideas, you can get examples of what you can do or what you shouldn't do, alternatives, and so you need to have that safe space where you can express what is happening and get help from others, even if it's just listening to the stories of others,
Yes.
to feel not so lonely anymore.
That's very helpful. Ask for help, share what's happening. People might not know. And for family members who are not able to give time, they might be able to give financial support.
Correct.
So they might have a full-time job and they say, listen, I can't come and help to take care of mom or sit there, but here I can give you $200 a month, and that can help to pay a housekeeper to come in.
Correct.
So time or money. And that support is really important.
Yep.
You know how good it feels to have somebody say, I understand you? That means the world.
Yeah, definitely.
All right? So when we have these persons, they're doing everything you've asked them to do, ask for help, trying to give quality care to mom, children, whatever, they still might have a job. What role does self-care play? And for persons who are really, really busy, doing hands-on care plus working, how do you advise them to be able to grab a little bit of time to get some self-care? Because that's really important. You mentioned, in other words, you said something to the effect like you can't pour from an empty tank. You can't help people if you yourself are not okay.
Yes.
So please tell our listeners in this situation about self-care.
So for those who may know, I always say your health is your wealth. So your overall health is top priority. So that's physical, mental, and spiritual health, which is what my business is all about. A happy, healthy you, body, mind, soul. And so we have to create the time. We have to create the time, and I like to time block things.
Okay.
One of the things I like to say, if you don't have any time, create 5 minutes for yourself every day. That's me time. That is nobody else's time. It could be for me. I like to take that time in the morning when it's quiet because my boys are so loud and rowdy. So it could be just 5 minutes to just relax and enjoy the quiet, 5 minutes to sit outside and enjoy the view, listen to the birds, 5 minutes to take time to comb your hair, to exfoliate your skin. Just take 5 minutes to do something. But it's physical, mental, spiritual. So we have to be mindful of what we're putting in our bodies. So eating meals that nourish our bodies and not just to fill our tummies, because you can get so caught up with caring for everybody else. You forget to eat, you forget to brush your teeth, you could forget to comb your hair, you just pull it back in a bun, you're not washing your hairs often. And I like to say, when you look good, it lifts your mood. So just getting dressed, I have a friend, she used to always ask me, where you going? Because you're so dressed up. I was like, I have nowhere to go. And I have our makeup, lipstick, well dressed, but it feels good.
Yeah.
And also in the event that you have to meet somebody already dressed, they're not scampering. So just taking the time to care for your body, stay hydrated, eating nourishing meals, taking care of your mind as well, the relationships that we have, being mindful about what we put in our mind. So what we're watching on the television, the music we're listening to, the conversations we're having, just being mindful of that. And also the spiritual part, which is finding your purpose, being your authentic self, because we have to have a purpose outside being a caregiver. So you're Koren, and then you're a caregiver, you're a social worker. So we have to find our true self, who we are at our core, and be that person, and not put on a facade for society, but be our authentic self and really connect with whatever our higher power is. That helps to nurture our spiritual health. So it's physical, mental, and spiritual.
That's quite a mouthful. And you don't want them to lose their identity.
No.
Just being a caregiver, that is not enough.
Yes.
You're a person in and of yourself.
So you're Koren, and then you're a caregiver. We can't afford to lose ourselves, because it's so easy when you're caring for everybody else that you forget who you are.
I know,
And
yes.
when the children are gone, or the parent may no longer be in your care or may pass on, then who are you?
Who are you? Yes.
You have to still know yourself.
Yeah, and you're so right about that, because a couple of studies have shown that when we are taking care of someone, we're a lot more careful with that care than we give to ourselves.
Correct.
So as a caregiver, you'll never forget to give that person their pills.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never forget their routines, but then you're not
Correct.
taking your own pills.
Yes.
So that's what happens to caregivers sometimes. They get carried away with what they have to do. You
Correct.
spoke about nutrition, which is good, and you also said that sometimes you work from the inside out, but sometimes it's okay to work from the outside in.
Correct.
Put on some lipstick, take care of yourself. How does being a caregiver, though, affect a person's immune system? How does it affect their sleep?
Well, just being a caregiver to any of the two generations, you can have sleep deprivation, much less to be caring for both at the same time.
Yes.
And so sleep hygiene is very, very important. And I understand that it can be challenging depending on how you work. So persons who work graveyard shifts, they're at higher risk for high blood pressure and diabetes and having insomnia.
Tell them what's
And
graveyard shift.
So the graveyard shift is that midnight to 8 a.m.
Or 11 to 7
or
for the
11 to
security
7.
guards, yes.
That graveyard, you can do your own research on it. That studies show that they are at higher risk for having things like insomnia, high blood pressure, diabetes, because our bodies were not meant, they were not designed to be up in the night. Our bodies were designed to sleep in the night and be up in the day. So it messes up our sleep rhythm, which means it will mess up our metabolism. It will disrupt our immune system. It will disrupt our digestive system, because they're all connected.
Okay.
So if we're not sleeping properly, we can have problems with our digestion, and we can have problems with our immune system. So sleep hygiene is very, very important.
Okay, thank you for that. And for those who have to work graveyard shift, please try to see how you can get that regulated. Right?
Yeah.
What role does community play? I mean, we have churches, some of us have friends. We've talked about the family, but families are not the only person we should have access to.
Right.
What role does community play? Faith groups, professional caregivers, friends?
Right. Well, community plays a big part. So they say it takes a village to raise a child. It also takes a village to maintain a healthy family. And family is not just blood relatives, but also the family that you create. You may be an only child, and so you don't have other siblings. You may not have any, you may have aging family members. And so we have to create our own community. So whether it is faith-based groups, other organizations. Attach yourself to an organization, an association that has similar interests, similar goals, so that you can feel like you're part of something. And so it plays a critical role. Especially for young people, I think it's very important for them to understand things like volunteering, because volunteerism is one of those things that give you a sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? Satisfaction that is different from getting money or, winning the lotto or what have you. There is a sense of satisfaction that comes from volunteering and helping somebody who may be vulnerable or who may be less fortunate than yourself.
Okay, I understand that. And maybe in the comments we can put the number for that support group so others who have parents with dementia can access it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had a question once from someone to my Ask Koren column who complained that her husband was saying she was spending way too much time at her mother's house taking care of her mother. And he felt like, the Bible says to leave and cleave. You're married to me, we're here, but you're always there. How does this sort of thing affect your marriage? Because if you have young children, you have to attend to them. You have to take care of your parents. And we can't get into the fact that oftentimes it's women who do this. We do have some men also, but a large proportion of it is women. So how do we speak to a female whose husband is saying, listen, it's either you're here or there. You can't be neglecting the home to take care of your parents and I'm not getting enough of you. I married you as a wife.
Right.
Somebody's marriage is on the line. How do you advise that person, Dr. King?
Well, relationships, they take work.
I know this is side.
Yeah, because I can understand, if I'm the husband and the wife is always at the mother's house. So I think communication is very important. Communicating and letting the spouse understand a little bit better about whether it's a disease or what the situation is. Again, I would say outsource some help so that the husband could get a little bit more time, because that relationship needs to be nurtured as well. The same way we nurture the relationship with our children, we also need to nurture the relationship, intimate relationships. And so be more understanding and see how you can create time to have something that you can do together, whether it's going on a date or just time blocking a time where it's just for both of you. And so that spouse doesn't feel left out or feel like they're being neglected, because it is real. We have to create that time. It's a lot of responsibility, but we have to create the time, not just for ourselves, but to nurture the relationships that we have, so those relationships don't break down.
Okay, I understand. So the communication and explaining to your husband, and you talked earlier about time blocking too. Yeah. So you can also set your date nights, right?
Set your date
Saturday
nights.
night is yours, I'll do breakfast every morning, blah, 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 and you create a plan. I think the communication makes a lot of a difference. Let's just say we have someone who's already in this situation where they're experiencing chronic fatigue, irritability, signs of burnout. What does that person do to come back to a place of center?
Right. Once we're experiencing burnout, first thing I would say is to take a step back.
Take a step back? Okay.
Take a step back, pause, evaluate what the situation is and how you can get it to be more manageable. Because if we don't take a break, our bodies will take the break for us. And I've seen people collapse out of exhaustion. You may say, oh, but I can't take a day off. But if you collapse, you might be out for a few days or a week. So we do have to take the time to rest, because rest is very important. Just like the plants rest, the animals rest, we have to rest, we have to recuperate, we have to recharge. We charge our phones, the battery is on 5% and we are scampering to find the charger,
and
to plug it in.
2%.
And we're running on 2%, just zero.
Not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. And so we have to take a step back, pause, evaluate Just like you might be evaluating your finances, you look and see where your time is being spent, where the burden is, and how we can create more time for ourselves to rest.
Okay, so one last thing. Look at the camera and give a brief word of encouragement to caregivers who are listening today.
Well, the one thing I would say is to speak up and find a community of support. Because many times we think that we are alone and nobody understands, and there's always somebody or a group of persons out there who can understand what you're going through. So don't sit in silence, don't do it alone, do it with support. If you don't know who to call, you can call me. 785-3311, or you can email me at Saran, Saran P as in Peter, King, King, @gmail.com. And you can find me on social media, A Happy Healthy You, Body, Mind, Soul, on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube.
Dr. King, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for the valuable feedback you've shared with our listeners.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. More on Sessions with Koren after the break. Here are 5 helpful tips for those who found themselves in this position of being a part of the sandwich generation. Number 1, set realistic boundaries. You can't pour from an empty cup. Know what you can manage and learn to say no when necessary. Number 2, prioritize self-care. Even 10 minutes a day for rest, movement, or quiet reflection can help to restore your energy. Number 3, communicate openly. Be honest with your family members about your needs and your limits. Once you have that clarity, it reduces the resentment. Number 4, seek support. Lean on siblings, community resources, support groups, or professional help. Caregiving is not meant to be done alone. And number 5, celebrate small wins. Acknowledge your efforts. Recognize that showing up with love, even imperfectly, is already a success. Welcome back to Sessions with Koren. Time now for your golden nugget. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. It's the most loving thing you can do for everyone around you, including yourself. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Sessions with Koren. To all of you in the sandwich generation, you are not alone. We see you. Your role matters, and your well-being is just as important as those that you care for. Until next time, take care of yourselves so you can keep showing up with love and strength for those who need you. Until then, stay grounded, stay growing, and stay you.